One of the hardest parts about building a proper gaming or work setup is finding the right desk. Now, I've used plenty of desks over the years, but they always seem to be lacking either features or structural integrity. So when Desky hit me up to share one of their latest desks and just talk about its features and my experience, I was all for it. In this video, I'm going to be walking you through the build, what stood out to me, show you what I use in my setup, and hopefully help you find out whether this might be the right desk for your setup too. The first thing I noticed when opening the box was the Walnut desktop, and honestly heavier than I expected. But once I flipped it over, I saw why. Desky runs steel reinforcements through the underside. They are vertical bars that add strength and help prevent any warping over time. Additionally, there were cut slots along the bottom as well. It looked to be machined to let the wood expand and contract naturally without stressing the surface. And honestly, it's something I've never thought about having in a desk, but it's pretty clever. Also making setup extremely easy were threaded inserts that were already pre-installed. As for the frame, it also looked extremely hefty. It had dual motors, a solid steel construction, and it's said to be rated for 300 pounds. Desky also sent over a few accessories like a cable management tray, a power strip with data ports, and the under desk drawer. These are very small touches, but they definitely add a more premium and complete feel to the desk. Now, building a desk isn't really too hard. However, Desky makes it even easier. Not only do they have solid instruction guides, but they even have a QR code for video installation. The legs slid into place with the crossbars and everything lined up thanks to the pre-installed threaded inserts. And I didn't even need any extra tools since the hex keys and the screws were all inside the box. The frame feels very solid with the dual motors, thick steel, and a 300-pound weight rating, which should be more than enough for my setup. The cable management tray went in next, and this is where I mounted the power strips. I don't think people really think about it, but having power and cable management combined just makes keeping your workspace extremely clean. I also installed the under desk drawer at this point, and although it's not huge, it is perfect for things that I don't need on the surface all the time, like extra cables, SD cards, or just any other smaller gear. But overall, the setup was extremely smooth. There really wasn't any moments where I was struggling putting something together or just trying to find the right way to do it. Now, some of the things I will recommend is if you are building this by yourself, you might struggle a little bit because it is extremely heavy, real wood, so having the extra person will definitely help out. And as for the cable management, the power strips, and the extra drawer, they don't come with the desk, which is unfortunate. You do have to pay an extra price for those. However, they do complete the look and give you that premium feel. Now, with the desk setup, the first thing I like to do is install an Elgato Light Strip Pro along the back of the desk. This is what adds that kind of accent lighting that really sets the mood. With the lighting in place, I started with the MSI monitor arms. These keep the desk surface clean and give me way more flexibility when adjusting my screens. My main monitor is a Pixio PX277 OLED Max, and next to it is a Pixio PX277 Pro, which is what I use to keep vertical for short form editing since that's 90% of my projects. Now, as for my PC, it's gone through a lot of upgrades over the years. It started with a Ryzen 2700X and now runs a 5900X. All thanks to the AM4 platform. For the kind of GPU heavy editing and gaming I do, the 5070 Ti has been very solid. Now, I am going to do a full new build, so make sure to subscribe to see that. For my mounts, I always get a lot of questions about these, so here it is. The Elgato Master mounts are probably the cleanest mounts that you can get. One holds my Facecam 4K Pro, and the other supports my Canon M50 for streaming and virtual meetings. But as a content creator, lighting is extremely important. I use two Elgato key lights, which helps whenever I'm streaming, but also light up my room and products when I'm filming. I also love my BenQ light bar, which fills the desk with light and helps eye fatigue. But as for my third monitor, it's a UPerfect portable monitor mount with a camera super clamp attached to one of my key light arms, and it works surprisingly well. I have the Stream Deck Plus with the XLR dock, which runs all my lights, audio, and apps. And as for my mics, I'm always changing them out depending on what I'm working on. For keyboard and mouse, I'm still figuring out what will work best for me, but for now I'm using a Razer Cobra Pro and a Cooler Master CK721, which just feels right for both editing and gaming. And seeing it all come together on this desk just feels really good. It's clean, it's functional, and adds the look that I've been needing for my studio. But most importantly, with all the gear on this, it just gives me the stability and the support that I can rely on. Now, with everything on the desk, I can see how big of a difference this desk makes. The Walnut desktop brings that warmth to the room, and the build quality feels solid with the real wood. And with the reinforced steel bars underneath, there's no flex even with all my gear on it. The frame is just as impressive too. It has dual motors with 300-pound weight rating, and it's quiet too, said to be only 40 decibels when meeting. The height range goes from 23.6 to 49.2 inches with a travel speed of 1.4 inches per second. And again, I keep saying it, with all of this on here, the support is there. The cable management tray and integrated power strips keeps the entire setup clean. No extra wires running to the wall, no clutter under the desk, and the small touches like the underdesk drawer just make it easier for me to keep things organized. Crazy enough, the controller even feels like an upgrade. The OLED display is bright. I've got my presets saved, and having a USB-C port built in it already comes in handy. It also has a reminder for sitting too long, child lock, and options to customize the display. Plus, there's a Bluetooth app control and even Siri voice commands if you need them. Overall, the Desky is extremely impressive with its engineering and tech. After spending time building on it, working on it, and filling it with the gear I use every day, the main point I want to make is how secure, sturdy, and just absolutely beautiful this desk looks. So big thanks to Desky for sending this out to me and allowing me to just put all my stuff on it and see what it's capable of. And if you're trying to dial in your own setup, I hope that this gave you an idea what you can do.